Good evening and welcome to the Design Review Board meeting of August 14th, 2025. The DRB meeting is now called to order. Please refrain from talking among yourselves during the meeting and please turn off or put on vibrate all cell phones at this time. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting the questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person. Current DRB agendas and staff reports are available by visiting our website at www.glendaleca.gov. Records of decisions for all projects will be posted online on the Planning Division's website. A handout describing the procedures of the meeting, possible board decisions, and DRB appeal is available from staff. Please note that any appeal of a case heard today must be filed within 15 calendar days of the DRB decision date. Meetings are also archived on the city website for viewing anytime at glendaleca.gov/agendas. Roll call. Board Member Lockroff.
Present.
Board Member Welch is absent. Board Member Simonian is absent. Board Member Halajian.
Present.
Chair Kaskanian.
Present.
Reports regarding posting of agenda. The agenda for the August 14th, 2025 regular meeting of the Glendale Design Review Board was posted on the city's website on August 7th, 2025, and on the bulletin board outside City Hall on August 11th, 2025. Approval of minutes for DRB July 10th minutes. Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Okay. And oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Design Review Board may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. I don't have any oral communications. Chair, do you have any? No?
Nope.
Okay. Any board member comments at this time? No? Okay, staff does not have comments either at this moment. No old business, so we'll move on to the first case under new business. I will turn it over to the case planner, Alan Lambert.
Thank you, Senior Planner Toledo. Good evening, Chairperson Kaskanian and board members Halajian and Lakarev. Good evening, members of the public. My name is Alan Lambert. I'm the case planner for this project. The application under consideration for design review is 644 Alexandra Street, case number PDR 004759-2025. The applicant, Rand Havender, proposes to demolish an existing 536 square foot single-family home built in 1921 and a detached garage, and build a new two-story, 2,170 square foot single-family dwelling with trellises and a covered patio, all on the 5,800 square foot site. The project includes a parking exception under California Assembly Bill 2097, allowing 0 instead of 2 enclosed off-street parking spaces. This is permitted by right. The project qualifies as a Class 3 CEQA exemption for new construction of small structures. It's in an urban area, zoned for residential use with no hazardous materials or historic resource concerns. The subject project is in South Glendale near the Ventura Freeway, zoned R3050, moderate density residential. It's a flat interior lot with a deteriorated driveway. The neighborhood includes a mix of single-family homes and multi-family buildings. In the existing project site, photos show an existing one-story residence in the back of the lot in between neighbors of a one-story residence and a two-story residence. Window locations show neighboring houses and demonstrate no concerns or impacts to privacy. In the rendering proposed, we see a view for the rendering from the front street. This is a neighborhood defined by eclectic architectural diversity. The subject property is in between those one-story minimal traditional and a two-story stucco structure of undistinguished massing. So here, incidental design elements from adjacent homes intersect in forming a proposed design as an architectural synthesis shaped by its immediate context. The staff report outlines determination of compatibility in 3 ways: site planning, mass and scale, design and detail. And just some brief overview of our findings for site planning. The proposed home fits well within the neighborhood. It respects setbacks and blending with nearby 1- and 3-story residences. Windows are placed to balance light and privacy. Tree protection measures are in place with urban forestry coordination. Landscaping includes trellises and permeable paving to reduce heat and manage stormwater, with updated plans adding permeable pavers in key setback areas. For mass and scale, the building's size and shape reflect the area's character. It fits among 1- and 2-story homes and doesn't overpower nearby 3-story buildings. Though taller than the home to the west, a second-floor setback and shed roof help reduce its visual impact. Varied roof lines, a recessed entry, and facade shifts add depth and balance. For design and detail, the design's contemporary with rustic elements. There's shed and flat roofs, wood grain siding, and a trellised entry. Materials include hardy siding, antique-style slate roofing, and permeable turf stone pavers. Lighting is minimal and focused on access points. All mechanical and utility features will be discreetly integrated. City departments reviewed the project and provided standard conditions of approval that are consistent with similar developments, and no public comments were received. Based on the information presented tonight and detailed in the staff report, staff recommends approval of the design review entitlement subject to the following conditions: that with just a slight revision to the site plan, and that we use permeable pavers for the walkway and driveway in the front yard. Be sure to show all exterior fixtures limited to the main entry, egress doors, and vehicle entrance. To include all equipment, enclosures, gutters, downspouts, vents, and utility connections with placement and finishes that complement the building's design, and to continue to comply with requirements from Public Works, Urban Department's Forestry section. This concludes, there's the other slide with that. Just for the record, that's the other slide with the details for the conditions. With that, this concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff?
Just a brief question is, can you review a little bit your recommendation regarding the trees in urban forestry?
Sure. And we'll look at that. So
Right.
the urban forester provided comments just to make sure that they provide accurate forestry notes. There is an indigenous tree within 20 feet of the rear of the property, and that urban forestry was coordinating with the applicant to make sure that they do a proper tree protection plan. And they're actually actively coordinating with each other.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's behind where they're going to build the ADU, right? That tree?
I believe so, but the applicant will probably detail that as far as the site plan goes.
Okay. Any other questions? No. All right. We have one speaker card. And just a reminder for everyone, if you all do plan on speaking, please make sure you fill out the card over here on the side and then hand it over to the team. But we have Brad McDonald. If you can please come up, state your name for the mic. And
Hi, my name is Brad McDonald. So, and then you have our
Yes.
PowerPoint piece? Great. So good evening, members of the Design Review Board. My name is Brad McDonald, and I'm the representative for the applicant Rand Hevner and Jupiter Point Development to talk about this single-family residence and the ADU proposed for 644. Next slide, please. So as Alan had noted, the plan is to demolish the existing small home. It's 536 square feet and the 316-foot garage. Demolish those, the lot's 5,810 square feet, and to construct a new home and ADU that both are contemporary and match each other in style and format with the 200-foot trellis and covered patio. Next slide. The key entitlements are the AB 2097, the parking exemption. With that, there's no need for us to do covered parking. And the 496 square foot junior ADU, that will be a conversion with inside the residence. And we have completed the pre-application review and have been found to be zoning compliant and neighborhood compatible. Next slide. So as you can see in the site here, it's sort of 12 o'clock north there. That is the oak tree, and it's actually across the property line. It's our neighbor's tree. And we have been talking to forestry, as well as we've submitted a tree report, arborist report for that. Our front setback is 25 feet. The neighbor average is 24 feet, and it ranges from 15 to 27 feet. So we're sort of in that sweet spot there. The side and rear setbacks will comply with our 3050 standards. And just to make sure that we have a minimal impact on the neighborhood. Tree protection wise, there's the one oak that we talked about, and the one city street tree, which is sort of 6 o'clock south there. And we have the arborist report, and the tree protection plan has been submitted, and we are coordinating with forestry. Next slide. And this one, you may have to tap through periodically. So as we talked about, no garage, and there's an existing asphaltic driveway. And what we're planning on doing is in the front setback, changing that to be permeable pavers to help with stormwater mitigation, as well as a visual appeal in the neighborhood. This is the landscape plan in sort of technical format. We're looking to maximize the permeable areas with living plants on through. We're looking to minimize the heat effect and to provide shade, and largely to provide an environmentally welcoming streetscape. Next slide. Oh, it's also flat topography, so no grading, no retaining walls or anything like that. This is the plant palette that we're planning on using to do that. So we are looking for something that would be inviting and engaging. That's a list of the plants that are there. And then in terms of fencing and gates, we will use appropriate materials that complement the building siding and minimize visual impact so that it doesn't look like a bolt-on add-on. In terms of light and solar, we've oriented the building favorable for both solar and for natural light. And in terms of site compatibility, we have designed it to respect the neighbor privacy. We've also used the landscape to enhance that usable outdoor open space. And we've blended the styles that are within the Vineyard neighborhood with all the 1 to 3 story residential styles, minimal traditional, Spanish Revival, bungalow, and contemporary. Next slide. Okay, that's the massing and scale. It looks beautiful. Next slide. And as staff noted, it softens its height and offsets in contrast. Next slide. Next slide. And similar details. Next slide. And the ADU is designed to be to tie in with the original one. Next slide. And with that, the project represents a thoughtful guideline compliant upgrade and enhances the neighborhood character and promotes sustainability through the permeable surface and the tree protection. We appreciate the staff's recommendation for approval with the conditions that Alan had discussed, and we're looking forward to working that through. We respectfully request the board's approval for this design, allowing us to proceed to building permits and contributed positively to the Glendale residential fabric. Thank you very much.
Thank
Do
you
have
very
any
much.
questions?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for the architect?
No, I don't.
No.
Just to clarify a couple of things. So generally speaking, the first floor is batten board finish, and then the second floor is lap siding. That's the...
Bottom is batten board finish. Upstairs is shake or shingle.
Shingle, okay. Can you talk about the roof material a little bit more? You're proposing here antique antique slate roofing, gaff timberline, is that?
It's actually a slate color. It's called antique slate.
What's the material?
Material, it's an asphaltic material.
Okay.
And largely from, as you can see, as you looked around the various renderings, you're not going to see that because it's largely flat at that point.
Have you considered a different material, like more of like a concrete tile or because you're going to that contemporary mid-century look with the batten board and the, but then you have a shingle, you know.
And actually, the material that we've selected is actually more in tying with the contemporary feel. The tile requires a little bit more fussiness involved in terms of maintainability as well. As much as everyone talks about the idea of, oh, I've got tiles that last forever, you've got to make sure that it's waterproofed all the way through. This works. It will make the roof feel a little bit lighter in that respect. And we've selected a material that works in with the solar reflections that are appropriate for the roofing material.
And then you have, there's some areas that you're introducing some flat roof, relatively flat roof. I was just curious if there's like a downspout. I didn't see in the renderings the downspouts, or what your considerations are.
Correct. Part of the reason for that is there's a level of designing that appropriately. From Random Mice standpoint, we'll look for the idea of making sure that those are discrete and set away from the public view. Typically, in a design review board, we tend not to show that because there's so many things that will impact that, and we know that it will come up in building and safety to show that appropriately.
All right. Those are my questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have another speaker, Jessica Malin. If you could please state your name.
Jessica Malin.
Thank you.
Okay, so proposed, good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Lambert. Proposed zero parking, I think, is a problem because there's, like, pretty much how it exists right now is not exactly two-car garage. That driveway that's existing could probably fit like 5 cars in it. So say that there's a family that moves into the house. Each of those people are going to have 2 cars, the husband and wife. Each ADA unit is going to have a car each. So that's four more cars that are going to be parking on the street when it's already pretty hard to get a space, and each side of the street is restricted for street sweeping. So the night before, it's really hard to get a spot. So I think that they should include parking, and I'm not sure why one of the pictures of the rendering shows the driveway. Because there's no driveway.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And then just comment for staff in regards to parking. I know it's not in our jurisdiction for that, but what was the law?
Yeah, California State Assembly Bill 2097 enables new projects within a half-mile walking distance of high-quality transit and/or major transit stop, which typically involves transit where peak hour turnover of buses is every 20 minutes or less. So this project, the applicant had applied for an AB 2097 parking exception before applying before this hearing, which is concurrent to this entitlement. And the findings show that this project is within a half-mile walking distance of that, and that's a ministerial by right request that the state requires.
State law.
State
Yes,
law.
it supersedes our parking requirements.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. There is technically a rebuttal, I would say. So if you did want to come up and
Just minor correction, she had said that there was no parking. It's actually, there's no covered parking. The driveway will be maintained. We'll have the pavers up in the front area, and so cars could park.
yeah, I see it in the plan too.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
Did you want to add something?
I was just going to ask if there were callers.
Oh, yeah.
No callers at this time.
No callers at this time. All right, thank you. So we're going to close the public portion and then go into deliberation. Board Member Lockhart, do you want to get us going?
Sure, yeah. I just want to say overall, I support the project. I think it's very appropriate to the neighborhood and to the site, and I appreciate both staff and the applicant's clear presentation. And yeah, I hear the concerns of the neighbor, and it is a state law. So and there is ample parking there. If you look at the plan, there will be a driveway, as the applicant has stated. Yeah, the massing's minimized really nicely with all the undulations and the various roofs, and I appreciate that you oriented the roof for solar. Just to my colleague's point about the roofing material, I do support the roofing material. I appreciate that as a homeowner with tile roof, how challenging it could be to try to put solar onto a tile roof. And then also, I do think it's appropriate to the aesthetically, architecturally, to the style. I think the materials that have been chosen are consistent with the modern aesthetic. And yeah, I think the other thing I would say, I'd support staff's conditions regarding, it sounds like you're working with the arborist, but just keeping that in there in terms of coordination and protecting the trees appropriately. And any kind of drought-tolerant vegetation, which it looks like has been done here. So overall, yeah, I support the project.
Thank you. Thank you. Board Member Halajian?
Yeah, overall, I do also support the project. You guys have done a nice design with the renderings and then the material that you're using. I do like the, I enjoy seeing hardy boards, so that, and thank you for that. So, and I like how you have balanced, window and exterior enclosure. It makes the overall project looks very nice. So overall in support of the project, I do support the conditions of the staff that put together. If you don't mind, Alan, maybe we can just look at the conditions one more time. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Chair, I do support the project, and the landscaping looks beautiful as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Did you want to wait for that first, or?
That's fine.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm overall in support of the project. I think you've done a great job. Excited to see what's going to be coming, especially from where it was before. So congratulations to you all. I think you guys have done a great job in the materials you have chosen. Excited to see it come alive. But I do support in regards to the staff's recommendations for the conditions, and especially those trees. Yeah, I'm in support of the project. All right, so we're gonna, no other conditions we're gonna add, but we're good with the recommendations from staff on conditions. Do we have a motion?
Correct. And I was just going to add one thing is the downspouts. I think my colleague had brought that up, and I do think that is an important part of the aesthetic design, and it does note that as part of the conditions, and I'd like to keep that in there. So,
Okay,
but yes, I'd like to motion to follow the conditions that staff has brought forward. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We don't need to review them again, we're good. Okay, that was a motion by Board Member Lockruff, and that was a second by Board Member Halajian. Board Member Lockruff.
Yes.
Board Member Halajian.
Yes.
Chair Kaskanian.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-0. Approved with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And just a reminder for everyone, if you do plan on speaking, please make sure you fill out the speaker card and hand it over when you get a chance. We have only 2 speaker cards for the next item.
Okay, we are moving on to the next item? Okay. Okay, once again, I'm Alan Lambert, case planner for this project. This application under consideration is design review for the Incarnation Parish Master Plan at 1001 Brand Boulevard, case number PDR-004125-2024. I will provide a high-level overview and findings of fact, while the applicant will provide master plan details. The proposal includes demolition of a detached garage and second-floor dwelling unit, construction of a new parish assembly hall with a covered arcade, a small addition to the parish office, and various site improvements. And to clarify, in our prior public hearings for a conditional use permit, there was a scope of work mentioned for an addition to the rectory, but that has since been removed from the scope of work, to be clear. Other site improvements include shade structures, a new courtyard, landscaping in the east parking lot, and reduction of the east parking lot spaces to provide that landscaping and screening for a cargo container in the west lot. On July 25th, the Historic Preservation Commission conducted advisory design review under GMC Chapter 15.20. That's because the planning staff had identified 4 campus buildings as potential historic resources: the 1937 elementary school auditorium, and the 1950s era church, and the rectory, the parish office buildings. The Historic Preservation Commission's recommendations are included at the end of this presentation. The project qualifies for 3 CEQA exemptions: Class 1 for minor additions to existing facilities, Class 3 for new construction under 10,000 square feet, and Class 31 for rehabilitation of historic resources with no impact to their integrity. Located just north of downtown in the northwest area of Glendale, bounded by Brand Boulevard, Glen Oaks Boulevard, Central Avenue, and partly Dryden Street. The Church of Incarnation in Glendale, California has evolved alongside the city's development of the past century. Originally agricultural land north of Arroyo Verdugo, the parish began with services held in a house on Brand Boulevard. It later moved to a church hall on Central Avenue, and then in 1937, the parochial school was built, designed by architect Jean Verge Sr. The Canadian-born Jean Verge Sr. graduated from a school in Montreal and established his own company in 1928. His notable works include the Buster Keaton House, the Jonathan Club in Santa Monica, St. Luke's Hospital, and notably, I think for this presentation, the 66th Street Elementary School in Los Angeles, which is a public works administration project in the streamlined modern style, similar in style to the Incarnation School. Verge later designed additions including the parish convent, which is now an office building, the rectory, and the church itself. In this overview locates the office addition, the garage, that's where the office addition will be, the garage apartment demolition, and the location of the new parish center. This is just a quick preview of the plans. The project totals almost 4.5 acres. That's the existing area for the master plan. This is what will be proposed. They'll detail that for you. On June 25th, the project underwent a separate public hearing for a conditional use permit, and that would allow the expansion of the parish's campus place of worship, private school, and daycare center. So briefly, staff report outlines determination and compatibility in these following ways. For site planning, the additions are set back, landscaping is enhanced, driveways are reconfigured, pedestrian paths improved, mature trees are preserved, runoff reduced, and mechanical equipment will be screened. For mass and scale, the parish center complements the existing buildings with a modest addition to the parish office that maintains scale and minimizes visual impact. And design and detail, materials and roof styles match the campus aesthetic. We have brick veneer, GFRC panels proposed, and transparent facades that foster cohesion and openness, and decorative paving unifies the outdoor areas. Just briefly, for your reference, the project preserves the site's religious and architectural character in terms of the historic resources. No defining features are removed. New construction is contemporary yet compatible, and the demolition of the rectory garage is limited to non-significant structures. For your reference, the Historic Preservation Advisory recommendation to you, the Design Review Board, asks to consider the following modifications to enhance compatibility of the new parish center. And mind you, these are recommendations, they're non-binding, so you have the discretion to follow them or not. And feel free to ask the applicant about these conditions. Recommendation number 1, replace the GFRC panels with stucco cladding for consistency with other campus buildings. Number 2, to add decorative banding to echo horizontal details from historic structures. And number 3, to reevaluate the color palette to better align with the existing buildings. Just FYI, that particular recommendation was split by the HPC 2-2. And lastly, there were no public comments received. City departments provided standard conditions consistent with other projects. Staff conditions recommend approval of the design review under the following conditions. That we have decorative paving at the Brand Boulevard entrances, that we maintain all water-efficient landscaping throughout, that is low to very low water usage per a state mandate. Screening of all new mechanical equipment such as backflow preventers, and continue to comply with urban forestry requirements, which also involves planting of new trees along Brand Boulevard. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lamberg. Any questions for Mr. Lamberg?
Could you detail a bit more the color recommendations for the Historic Review Board? You mentioned that they were a bit divided on that, but can you detail that conversation a bit more?
Simply put, they identify, when you look at the historic buildings now, the church, the existing rectory, the office building, they have a color palette. And when you look at the proposed plans, there's just a slight deviation, and the applicant could probably go into more detail about that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Nope. All right. Then I will open it up to the public. We have 2 speaker cards. First one is the designer of the project, Neil Munsell. Munsell. You want the father to speak first? Okay, father, if you could please come and state your name, please, for record.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Father Rodel Balagtas, and I am the pastor of Incarnation Church here in Glendale. It is an honor to be with you today as we reach the final hearing milestone as part of our entitlement process, a step that brings us closer to a vision years in the making. In 2023, we began our master planning journey with Pica and Sullivan Architects, guided by a singular goal: to create a campus that reflects and serves the evolving needs of our faith community, our parishioners, and our students. Our vision is rooted in our deep connection to the city of Glendale and the legacy we built together over nearly a century. Our faith is centered around creation of community, to worship, to gather, to educate, and to socialize. This master plan allows us to meet the needs of our campus community that includes the school and the parish, and introduces a new parish center as its centerpiece. Neil Munsell, project architect with Pica and Sullivan, will walk you through our plan that honor our legacy into the future as we look ahead to our centennial celebration in October 2027. We do so with gratitude, purpose, and a commitment to serving this city for generations to come.
Thank you, Father. Next, we have Neil.
The one I sent today, it's a DRB one I sent this afternoon.
And are you all going to be showing the material board? Yeah, if we could have that up from now. Thank you.
I don't recall that presentation.
Around noon today?
Let me go check my email, because I don't recall that.
I have it on a zip drive, I know that's, or a jump drive, I know that's not.
We don't have plug-in here anymore. It's just some loose It's the same as the materials.
Oh, got it. Thank you. I'm already feeling and touching it.
Yeah.
I suppose, so.
Hard copies of the presentation we put together.
No callers at this time, and it should just be a couple minutes for him to get the PowerPoint set up.
I am the project architect. It didn't come through?
No, that means I would have responded, right? Here we are. Okay. Back on track.
It's fine, I got it, just focus on that.
And I don't think the clicker is going to work for that because it's a PDF.
I can.
Yeah, he'll scroll it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. My name is Neil Munsell. I am the project architect for this project. Thank you, Father Rodell, for your kind introduction, and thank you, Board, for providing this opportunity to talk about the project and for your time. We're eager to share what we think will be a great project, both for the Incarnation community, but Glendale as well. As you heard, Incarnation Catholic Church was established in 1927. We can go to the next slide, please. The church and school have been operating continuously since their founding. The school came into existence 10 years after the church. The goals for this project include providing a multipurpose gathering space for the church community, providing new classroom spaces for the school to enrich their curriculum, to upgrade existing facilities and utilities, to provide new useful outdoor hardscape and landscape areas, to improve parking and campus circulation, and to accomplish all of the above while maintaining the existing character and integrity of the campus and following Glendale development standards. We can go to the next. Here you see the existing site plan. The site is approximately 4.5 acres. It straddles the R1250 residential and the C3 commercial zones. On the western portion of the site, you have the parish school and related facilities, including the parking and play areas. And on the eastern portion of the campus, you have the church, rectory, and church offices. We can move to the next, please. Here you see the proposed site plan, and it entails several phases of work. The cornerstone, as Father Rodell explained, is the new parish center, which is located centrally in the campus. Additional phases that would be undertaken include introducing new public restrooms to the adjacent office building. Those would be utilized by people using the hall. The balance of that building would be renovated, interior renovation. There would be campus-wide utility upgrades that entail the removal of existing power poles and shifting all of the overhead electrical infrastructure underground. There would be improvements to the east parking lot, which include new landscaping, lighting, provision for future EV charging capabilities. There would be improved outdoor spaces, landscaping, shade structures, an improved school play yard, and finally a renovation of the existing rectory. And as Alan had noted, initially we had expected to expand that rectory. It has been determined that that is not necessary, so any work happening at that existing building would be interior renovation. In addition to the planned phases, we would also be undertaking improvements related to city and staff comments. These include introducing new street trees along the Brand Boulevard frontage, screening an existing storage container, and screening any new backflow devices or other mechanical equipment. We can move so a little bit about the site improvements. Here you can see the new parish hall is set back from the street, which creates a new area for a courtyard and garden. So by situating the hall centrally, the building can then serve both the school community to the west, and the church community to the west. The church to the east. And this court and garden would serve multiple purposes. It would provide a pedestrian-friendly entry point to the campus. It would act as a buffer between the street and parking areas, as well as screening from the hall. And it would screen street noise at the same time. It could serve as a place of quiet reflection, a place for gathering, and would include both shaded seating areas and open space. Decorative paving would be introduced to improve both the court and plaza areas as well as the school play yard. And new landscaping, lighting, and clearer pathways would provide greater security and easier wayfinding. The east parking lot would be reworked with new landscaping and lighting, improved access to accessible parking and infrastructure for EV charging. We would reduce the number of drive aisles, thus providing a clearer and safer vehicular access and pedestrian experience. You can go to the next slide. This view you can see, this is from the north looking down at the east parking lot and the courtyard and hall itself. The landscaping scheme would include drought-tolerant design. A new shade trellis would provide both a focal point for the outdoor activity as well as additional shade. We can move to the next slide, please. Here you see a similar view in the evening. The lighting is controlled to not be a nuisance. We can go ahead to the next. Here, this is a view looking from the west, and you'll see that on this side of the campus, we're on the school side of the campus in this image, and the classrooms that are being provided as a part of this building are accessed directly from the school portion of the campus. We can go to the next. Here's another view. In this case, we're seeing the mechanical screen that would be introduced to hide the new equipment that's going in. You can see some of the architectural detailing, including canopies that are consistent around these two portions of the facade. We can go on to the next. And additionally, you can see that there is an arcade that wraps along the south and east portions of the building. These help to mitigate the scale of the project, which essentially is just a large volume for this double height meeting space. So that helps provide a human scale to the site and minimize the volume of the meeting hall itself. That arcade occurs on the south and east portions of the building. To the west and north, we have one-story structures that flank the hall itself. There you go, thank you. So there you can see how the arcade and one-story structures help to reduce size of that central volume. The pitched roof forms echo the existing roof styles on the campus, as do some of the materials. Additionally, to help minimize the sense of mass, the materials shift as you work around the building, and the heights of various walls are also adjusted to provide visual relief. We can go to the next. Here you see some interior views just showing the double high space for the gathering hall itself and conceptual renderings of the classrooms. There would be a music and an art classroom introduced. In this image, you see the existing parish offices on the right and the existing rectory garage on the left. The rectory garage would be demolished to make space for the new hall. The restrooms would occur on the northern portion of that existing office space. The garage would go away. It's a sort of surgical introduction of public restrooms that would be accessed from the open space. We can go to the next. So again, here you're seeing the proposed courtyard and plaza. And it's probably a good moment to talk about some of the comments from the Historic Preservation Commission. So they had a couple recommendations. One was related to the colors, and we had deliberately kept the new building a slightly different color. It's in the same family of earth tones as the existing buildings, but in part because we want it to be a little bit distinct from those existing historical structures. We wanted to have it a little bit different, but also it should be noted that the color that the existing buildings are painted is not an original color. So we didn't feel that it was critical to kind of hold to those quite so intently. Additionally, there was discussion about GFRC panels. Now, while none of the existing buildings are obviously made of GFRC, it was a material that didn't exist at the time, the church itself and the original school building were made of concrete. So it's not unprecedented as a building material on the site. And Alan, would you mind going forward a slide? Or possibly back? Let's go forward again. Oh, okay, let's go back a couple till we can see the west facade. There you go. So where we propose the major field of GFRC to be would be in the central portion of that west facade, underneath that sort of dark mechanical screen. And the logic behind having a more sort of weighty material there was that when you look at that heavy and dark mechanical screen, it reads as heavy. And so our perspective was that a material like GFRC, concrete material, had much more solidity to it than a typical stucco or cement plaster might. And therefore it helps to both anchor the building physically and support this darker element, weighty element that's above it. And then I would also add that that material helps anchor this building in the 21st century. The other materials that are being used, cement plaster, brick, glass, these are, and even the asphalt shingles proposed for the roof, they all have precedent on campus and they've all been used for a long time, but they do not represent a sort of modern material. So there was a deliberateness in using GFRC as part of the palette to help anchor this project and this building in the 21st century. Otherwise, we are echoing the existing materials that are used on campus. Where we do introduce new materials, even the new modern glazing systems, we've added divided lights so that there is a characteristic similarity to what exists on campus without simple mimicry. With regard to the point that the Historic Preservation Commission had made about adding horizontal banding, If you can see in that rendering, the rectory does have a band of wood running along the second story, and a similar detail occurs at the parish offices. However, there are not similar details in the church itself. So while I understand the recommendation based on proximity to these buildings that do have that detail, it isn't necessarily a consistent condition across the existing fabric of the campus. And with all of that said, I think I can close. We believe that this will be a great project. It will greatly enhance the community at Incarnation, but we think it will also be an enhancement for the Glendale community writ large. And thank you for your time, and we hope you will support this project.
Thank you very much. All right, do we have any questions for the architect?
I have a few questions.
Sorry.
Just if you were to bring in the horizontal banding, for instance, did you have thoughts on that particular?
We looked into it,
right.
and in part because of how we treat the facade, where the materials shift as you work around the facade, and they also change in plane. So that makes it difficult to have a consistent horizontal band element, since the planes of the building themselves shift in and out. And also, as the heights change, now that horizontal band as a datum becomes, I think, a little bit awkward. So that, coupled with the fact that the church itself, the main building on campus, does not have any of this horizontal sort of emphasis, we felt comfortable with not introducing horizontal banding. You could argue there is a little bit of horizontality with regard to how the shade canopies at entryways are treated, and even the arcade itself has a strong horizontal element to it. But in terms of a very specific and consistent horizontal band around the facade, we determined that that was not really going to support the design.
Any other questions?
And was the, all the materials you're proposing are on this board? I just make sure, I'll take another look. Thank you, thank you. Do you have any questions as well?
Yes. As far as the paint, you mentioned that it's in the same family. I'm curious, is the existing paint, would you say, shade lighter, shade darker than what you're proposing?
I would say ours is less saturated. So what's on campus right now pretty much reads as pink, to be perfectly frank. So this is more of a muted earth tone. They are all, I would still call it an earth tone in terms of what exists on campus. And we've just taken one that's it's a very similar color, it's just slightly less of a rosy hue.
Okay. And as far as the GFRC and stucco, is it fair to say that you could get more consistent finish from GFRC than stucco?
Certainly, and actually that's a good point. In addition to more consistency in the finish, it's also much more durable. And it's used predominantly on the side of the campus where you have little children. And so there was some concern about, if this is kind of a high traffic area, how are these materials going to weather and survive based on the sort of use, and hopefully not, but abuse that they may receive.
And if it was a stucco, you would propose smooth stucco that can vary, to potentially vary in color as they're applying it. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say, yeah.
The one question that I had is the monument sign in the middle of the courtyard. Is there any meaning behind that, or is that the final
Well, so the
proposed?
courtyard design has changed a little bit. The renderings are somewhat misleading. So there is no longer a plan to have a kind of monumental sculpture in the center of that courtyard. Where we stand right now, and I apologize about the snafu with the presentation, in the handout I gave you, you'll see that there's an updated site plan. And where once there was this large sculpture, now we are proposing a trellis that would sort of be a central focal point of an open space that's flanked by trees. Yeah, that's the page you want. And there would probably be a small freestanding water element, bird bath kind of thing, but that's speculative at this stage.
Okay.
So the trellis is not part of our review then? I didn't see that.
It would be, it is, it's part, one of the shade structures that's proposed. We've just relocated one.
I see.
Any other questions?
No,
No?
No for me.
thank you.
Thank you. And if you guys want to grab these two, do you guys still need this?
No,
No?
thank you.
Actually, we have to keep those on file with planning, so we're gonna have to take them at the end. If you guys are gonna need them back, maybe we can figure out taking pictures and stuff and giving it back to you, but. Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
We took photos at the last hearing for those, and then they submitted.
Great. All right, do we have any callers now?
No callers at this time.
All right, so we're gonna close the public hearing. I don't have any more speaker cards, and go into deliberation. Board Member Locker, if you want to get us going.
Well, thank you for the presentation, and for the material board, it's extremely helpful, and thank you to staff. I was grateful that this went through the historic review process initially as well, and I'm excited to see this project happen for you all, and for the school and for Glendale too. So, yeah, overall, I support the project, and I'm, excited to see it happen. And I also, I appreciate the idea of, honesty of materials. This is such a puzzle here, and I think that overall, the project's well cited, it's well designed, and I support it. I think that I appreciate how the roof is broken up so that the massing isn't, it is at that human scale, and that the clear story is lovely, makes it look like it's floating, it's not so heavy. I think overall, and the material board, it was great to see because it is really lovely. And I'd say I support staff's recommendations regarding street trees and the other items. I'd love to see them pulled up at towards the end of this deliberation. Overall, I support it, and
Thank you.
I'd love to hear what my colleagues think.
Board Member Halaj?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for the record, when I was a student approximately 15 years ago, I used to live very close, a walking distance from this property, and I always walked by it. I fascinated with the architectural element that the church offers. So, and now I'm sitting here, it feels nostalgic, and I do appreciate reviewing this project. And overall, I am in support of the project. The architect has done a very nice job on bringing all these elements together and still making it part of the campus feel. So, as far as maybe we can look at the specifics of the historic and the historic board preservation recommendation. So, as far as the GFRC and stucco, I tend to agree with the design team that GFRC is probably better suited material here, given the fact that it's more durable. Also, it's more consistent of a product than a stucco, so it will definitely bring those architectural element or the color that the design team is trying to convey. So I do support that. As far as the colors, again, it looks very similar. So again, the proposed color scheme is fine. I do like it. What's the third item? The stucco.
There's a horizontal banding.
Oh,
What was the
horizontal
other
banding,
item?
I'm neutral on this, Mr. Chair and Board Member Lycroft, so I'm curious about your thoughts on this. So.
I think that the windows and the way that the roof is designed, that it achieves the aesthetic of a horse. It is, the horizontality is emphasized.
Yep.
I would love to see it continue a little bit around the side, but I think that would be a consideration I'd love for staff to
Sure.
work
Maybe
with them
we
on.
can circle back on the rendering just to look at it
That
again.
would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the staff's recommendation, I'm in agreement of that, and I do support it. So overall, very nicely done, and I am in support of the project. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Perfect. Thank you, Board Member Halajian. Yeah, I'm overall in support of this project. Really happy to see, the church investing in the community, and, the next generation of, elementary students and just like the community in general. Drive by this all the time, so I'm very happy to see it come alive. I think you guys have done a great job, especially the hardscape in the middle. I think that you guys nailed it over there. It's something fun for the kids to also see. So yeah, overall, I'm in support of the project with the staff's recommendations and conditions. Thank you so much for bringing the material board. I think, like they said, our colleague said, it makes it a lot helpful for us to visualize it a little bit more, and to your entire team for putting it all together. Overall, in support of the conditions and in regards to the historic recommendations as well, agree with my colleagues. And I think the only thing that the horizontal banding one,
Yeah.
I don't have too much of a, I would let you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as a consideration
Okay.
included, so that staff could work with the applicant to at least look at those options that you had mentioned in terms of the banding. I think even just a subtle nod to it would be lovely, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Perfect. So we're going to move that up for a consideration, and we're going to move forward with all the other conditions that are set forth. Okay?
I can make a motion to move forward.
I second the motion.
We'll do a roll call vote. Board Member Halajian,
Yes?
Board Member Lockraft,
Yes.
and Chair Kaskanian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just give us a minute while we shuffle a little for my item.
Perfect. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you. There you go.
Yes. So take pictures, okay, I can do that. Do that right now. Great. Get my phone, get it back.
I'm ready when you are.
We are ready.
Okay, great. Good evening and thank you. I'm the case planner, Vista Azadi. This is the project site at 820 Misty Isle Drive, Design Review Board case number PDR-0050682025. The project site at 820 Misty Isle Drive is approximately 16,000 square feet. It's irregularly shaped, and it's located in the R1R Hillside Zone, FAR District 2. The lot does feature a gradual slope up from the street, and the existing house and the proposed house are going to be on a flat pad. There is one oak tree located towards the rear of the property. The architect has designed around it and will comply with forestry requirements, which includes a tree protection plan. The site was originally developed in 1964 with a one-story, 2,017 square foot single-family house and attached two-car garage. Access to the site is from an existing driveway on Misty Isle Drive, which will be maintained and expanded as part of the project scope of work. The applicant is proposing to construct a new one-story, 3,477 square foot single-family house and attached two-car garage. The project also includes an expanded rear deck and pool area, as well as a new pool room located at the lower level of the deck. Just by way of background for this project in particular, this is essentially a renewal of a previous DRB approval. It was last reviewed by the DRB in October 2021. It was approved with staff's recommended condition as well as a consideration regarding the roof heights. Essentially, this project has gone through plan check. There were some delays. The DRB approval expired before the permits were issued, and the owner is picking this kind of back up again and wants to move forward with constructing his family's home. The consideration related to the roof heights and considering some transom windows, that was something we did explore with them years ago. It wasn't a favorite design for them, and this is what they would like. The owner is here, and he can talk about it a little bit more and why they didn't go that way. Overall, site planning is appropriate. It's similar to the existing conditions, while taking into account the neighborhood conditions as well as any zoning constraints. The new attached garage is consistent with the neighborhood pattern, which features primarily attached garages. New drought-tolerant landscaping is proposed throughout the site. It complies with the city's low and very low water use designation requirements. And the plant palette does complement the overall building design. Decorative paving is also included at walkways, driveways, and in the rear deck area. At 1 story, the overall mass and scale of the project is appropriate and consistent with the modern design concept. It's also consistent with the surrounding neighborhood, which it does feature 1 and 2 story homes. The existing house is 1 story and I believe 15 feet tall. The new house will be 14 feet 6 inches tall from the front, and then towards the rear it goes down to around 12 or 13 feet, I believe. As it relates to design and detailing, the design incorporates the materials and colors consistently, and the selected materials are consistent with the modern design concept. The entryway has been integrated appropriately into the design. It features a covered, recessed, single-door entry that's set back from the street, which is consistent with the guidelines. The new windows are proposed to be aluminum clad in a combination of fixed and casement windows. They're also stacking aluminum doors towards the rear patio area that are proposed. The proposed materials for the house include stucco in an off-white color, split-face stone veneers, glass railings, and maple wood doors for the garage entry and access gates. The materials are high quality. They do reinforce the design concept, and the color palette is appropriate to the hillside area. As it relates to public comments, staff did receive 1 letter from a neighbor. I believe they're like catty corner from the house. They were concerned with the height and an increase in the height. Staff responded and letting them know the house is proposed at 14 feet 6 inches, which is actually lower than what's there now. And staff's recommending approval with 1 condition consistent with the previous approval, and that's just to comply with Urban Forestry Department comments. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Is there any lighting fixtures in the front?
Let me double check the plans.
Okay.
I believe we had looked at that in plan check, and they weren't anything substantial. But
Okay.
let me double check.
There's one on the right.
Was it like right here or something?
Mr. Chair, on the M4 sheet, detail
Okay.
3, it shows a wall light, outdoor wall light. However, it doesn't show the location.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. We have 2 speakers on this. We have the applicant, Sarkis Boy-Mozian. Would you like to come up? You could state your name, please.
Hi, my name is Sarkis Bayamjan. I'm here for the RB approval for my family's home. I've done this one time before during COVID, so it's a little different. We did it with like a Zoom call pretty much. Basically, we came to the conclusion with my family to rebuild our home, make it bigger, because our family grew since we moved in. And we took considerations in planning the property. We used a lot of material like natural stone and colors that would match the hillside. We decided to do single story, not to have any issues with blocking other people's views that live behind us, because there's no one that lives behind us in that way. We did decide to put a pool in the back with caissons. The caissons is actually going to help the structure of the hillside, give it more support, and then we'll have the pool in the back. We use natural wood for the front, just to give it more of a, it basically fit the neighborhood. It's maple. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's going to be off-white stucco. There are several homes in the neighborhood that are contemporary, like this one we're trying to build. So it's not going to be an outlier. There's one that's about 2 houses down from us and 2 houses up from us too.
Thank you. And then, do you know where you're going to be putting the light?
Mr. Chair, I can answer that because
You had it? Okay.
I misstated in my previous statement. On A6, it does show the call-out number 3. If you look at the north elevation, there's just to the right of the
Okay, I
garage, and then just to the left of the window, it calls out for wall lights, outdoor wall lights. So.
I do believe there's going to be lights on the underneath that top part right there where the window is. There's going to be low lights just to give lights to the planters over there.
Thank you.
You're referring landscape lighting, basically?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Had to do that for, board member Welch, because always asked about the white light.
Yeah, there's no like bright lights or anything like that. It's just going to be very dim lights, just so people, can see where they're walking.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Questions? No? All right. Thank you, Sarkis. We have Mickey Parserian. Mickey, if you could please just say your name for the record and say what you got to say.
Mickey Parsegian. My wife's family owns the house adjacent, and we just wanted to make sure nothing has changed where it won't be blocking our view. And based on what I see, it's the same as it was last time. So we're in accordance with the plans. We're happy for the family and happy for Sarkis and them to have a new home.
Perfect.
Hopefully it won't take too long. drive this crazy with all the noise, but that's kind of normal with new construction. So thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. And we do have hours of operations on when they can do the construction. There's city ordinances for that.
And we live by a home that's been taken 7 years to build.
Wow.
So I know what it's like to drag things on.
Yeah. Are there any callers?
There are no callers.
No callers. All right. So we'll close this public portion, go into deliberation. Board Member Halajian?
Overall, just in support of the project. I hope it comes to fruition and we don't come back here a third time as a charm, kind of. But yeah, overall in support of the project and support the board's, staff's recommendation. So thank you.
Thank you.
I agree. Good luck to you, and I hope this goes smoothly for you. And but yeah, I support the project. It's nice that it's modest in height for the neighbors, and it's nice to hear neighbors supporting it. So yeah, good luck to
Thank you. Overall in support of the project, you've already gotten the approval back in 2021 already. So. Excited for your family, looking forward to it being built. So yes, in support of the project.
Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the project with staff's recommendations.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Board Member Halajian.
Yes.
Board Member Lockhart.
Yes.
And Chair Kaskanian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
6:15. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Third.